Hey guys, what is going on? And welcome back to another episode of Breakdown. As I walk to the bedroom to record this video, and I may walk around a little bit. It's kind of dark in the hallway. Let me turn the light on. I don't know. Is it going to affect? Is it going to be really dark in the hallway? Not really. Not really too dark. Anyways, I'm going to take a drink because I'm thirsty. But I want to talk about today. I know I did a video about Paul Heyman and how I would book him after Brock Lesnar. Kind of a similar video, but not really, because I think it would be different. With that video, I kind of more talked about how he would basically be, what wrestlers maybe I would put him with. This is something more a little bit different. So this is the video I want to discuss today is talking about WCW, and I'll do one on WCW in the future. So leave your thoughts down below about WCW, and maybe I'll implement them into the idea I have to bring it back. But ECW is a perfect example of something that could come back. And there's been a lot of discussion that WWE's been talking about this, thinking about this, and I think I kind of have an idea for how they should do it. And really it's perfect in every way if you think about it. And here's, I guess I'll go ahead and start it. So here is the preface that everybody knows. Paul Heyman is ECW. He has to be somewhat affiliated with it. But if there was, I'll get to that in a second. I'll go down another branch, probably near the end of this discussion and after I talk about Paul Heyman. So if Brock's almost done, which I can almost assume that he might be almost done with pro wrestling because he's getting up there. He doesn't want to wrestle a lot of dates. He's already talking about going to UFC. If he gets hurt in this fight, he may lose the belt or have to come back and wrestle, and he might not want to do that. So I'm thinking they got to have contingency plans in place just in case something like that happens. Because I have a feeling they're going to keep the title on him while he goes to UFC and fights. And that's going to be a problem, in my eyes, if he gets hurt and won't be able to compete. Like if somebody breaks his leg or breaks his arm in the UFC thing, how's he going to come back and defend the championship? Unless he comes back on Raw, drops the belt to somebody, and acts like he's not hurt. That could be that. Or they just end up stripping him of the championship. But anyways, let's just say Paul Heyman is done. Brock Lesnar has his last match, puts his career on the line. Whoever it faces, doesn't really matter. But he's done. Maybe it's Roman, and he beats him title versus career when maybe Brock challenges him at SummerSlam next year. And Brock says, if you beat me, I'll retire, because there ain't no way in hell that you're going to beat me twice. And he does it. He loses. He's gone. And Heyman says, well, Vince, this is the only reason why I was here, And maybe Vince tries to sell him on all these ideas about, well, you could work with this guy and this guy and this guy. Maybe even lay out the scenario that I laid out for Heyman, working with other wrestlers. Maybe some guy coming in fresh. Maybe a guy like Lars Sullivan putting him over. And Heyman just doesn't buy into it. Doesn't buy into it at all. And maybe Triple H, before they had this meeting, kind of told Vince, we can maybe sell him on ECW. Maybe we can sell him on bringing back ECW. And Vince says, well, we'll see if he bites. So after all that deliberation, Paul Heyman basically says, no. Then Vince lays out the idea for ECW, and Triple H kind of steps up and says, well, Vince, I had this idea. Let me speak to him about it. And he's at the meeting and everything. And maybe Triple H says, Paul, remember last time it wasn't a very good experience. The fans liked it, but they didn't like it that much. What if we did it your way this time? What if we let you pick anybody on the roster? Minus a few people maybe here or there. You can understand the people that they wouldn't want in ECW. But even if they let them take like maybe a couple of those guys, whatever. And, let you do your own thing. Triple H, would say, let you do your own thing. Go out there, we'll give you the money, we'll fund it all, we'll put it on a network, it'll be a network-only thing. And you'll get your viewership, you'll have pay-per-views, you'll be somewhat included in the WWE universe, but we'll kind of just let you do your own thing and, let the hype build itself. And eventually we'll bring you into the fold for our pay-per-views, down the road, but we want you guys to be your own thing because that's what it needs to be. Go out and do what you got to do. You can do anything you want. It's on the network. And maybe Paul would say, "Okay, awesome, yeah, let's do this." And they start sitting down and getting things together. Now, what would I do with ECW when I brought it back? I think, what would you do? What wrestlers would you pick currently to be on the roster, and guys you would pick from NXT right now that, hey, let's get this guy to come in ECW? Because you got to think, but a few of the guys, like, they wouldn't want to let go to ECW because of the fact of what kind of a wrestler they are and things like that. But I think this would be a very, very key point because I think if I were Paul Heyman, if I were going to pick some wrestlers to come into ECW that really could do something with the ECW brand, I really think that the first pick that I would want to be in ECW, I think this would have to play out in WWE TV. With all these wrestlers dissipating from the main roster and then people coming up from NXT to replace them, I think it would be a kind of a good fit because I think if you think about ECW and you go back to ECW, what were the guys from ECW? There were a lot of guys that, one, couldn't make it in WWE, or WWE couldn't come up with anything creative. I guess couldn't make it in WWE doesn't really make any sense anymore. Like, they could make it. Just WWE couldn't come up with anything creative for them. So, with that being said, basically what I would do is I would get all the guys that the WWE acts like they can't do anything with, minus a few here or there. But I would grab up guys like Heath Slater. I would grab, I don't know if I grab Jinder Mahal. I'm kind of going through that stuff. And I don't know if I pick up Drew McIntyre. What I would do is I'd probably grab Heath Slater. I would grab Bo Dallas. I would grab Kurt Hawkins. Dolph Ziggler, I would grab him because I think Paul Heyman could do something with him. I would grab guys like, I think, okay, so that's Raw, right? I grab the Ascension. I would take them with me. I would say grab the Ascension because they're probably on their way out if they don't get taken somewhere else soon. So I grab the Ascension. I would also grab, so if I was going to grab anybody else from Raw, that's a pretty good chunk of Raw. But a lot of wrestlers they could probably do without. Tyler Breeze, definitely. Tyler Breeze is probably a person that would build a whole company around, to be completely honest. I would grab Tyler Breeze, leave Fandango, let him be a jobber with somebody else. Not a huge fan of him. But he probably could do something with him too. What about SmackDown would be... SmackDown, I think you would see Ty Dillinger disappear. He could do amazing things with ECW, doing with wrestling, actually wrestling. How about that? Even R-Truth, man. Bring R-Truth into ECW. That would be interesting. What are the other people? Usos. Oh, yeah. Grab the Usos, definitely. They would be very, very interesting. Harper and Rowan. Get them out of there, man. They're going to end up being gone. Harper and Rowan are single stars waiting to burst. They just can't book them right. They can't book them right. They had a feud and everything. It was doing really good. And then they just effed it all up. Leave the Usos. I would leave the Usos, to be completely honest. Actually, no. I would take the Usos. Would I take the Usos? I'm trying to think if I would take the Usos. I don't know if I would. They probably would be a good fit, though. I mean, they would work a good style for an ECW type style. I mean, I'm trying to picture these guys, and I could picture Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel doing pretty good in an atmosphere like that, where you go out there and actually do, like, somewhat traditional, but kind of get a little rough at times. And I think they could do that if they were given an opportunity to say, hey, here's the ball, run with it. If anyone was able to give them a chance, And one of the big people I think that I would pick for ECW, and like I said, this would have to play out on TV with all these people just walking out. And, I think the biggest thing would be if, like, they showed, like, when they announced that ECW is coming to the network, like, 2-3 weeks later, you hear all these discussions and you see people like talking to each other backstage that normally wouldn't talk to each other. Like you'd see the Ascension talking to, Bo Dallas and Kurt Hawkins backstage, and maybe you see who would walk by, like maybe a Randy or not Randy Orton. He's not on that show, dummy Brad. Maybe you see like Roman walk by and Seth. Maybe they're talking to each other, getting ready for a tag match, and on the way to some match that they have scheduled, they're like, Wonder what they're talking about. And they actually say that. I wonder what they're talking about. And then they keep on going to the ring and they have their match. Nothing else said about that, okay? Right? 2 weeks pass. That's when things start to really show up. Paul Heyman shows up on Raw, hyping up ECW, saying it's going to be on the network, and some of your very stars that you're going to see, that you've seen right here on Raw, are going to be on the programming note. Then's when it gets interesting, because they need to write something into the story to get these characters away from these shows. So then you start seeing people with ECW shirts, and you see them walking out the back door. And you just show it, like in segments like that. And maybe you have Roman doing a singles match, that week, and you see the Ascension walking out the back door that week, that week in one segment. And then another segment, maybe you have Braun Strowman come to the ring, and you see Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel with ECW shirts on as well, walking out another door. So there you're kind of letting the audience know where they're going and why they're not going to be on Raw anymore, or why you don't see them on Raw anymore. In a subtle way, you see Strowman going, huh, would never have thought, or something like that, and then walk to the ring. It'd be interesting. But then I think the biggest blow would be, the biggest stars that you would get to take to ECW would be from SmackDown, in complete honesty. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, he's going to say AJ Styles. I'm not going to say AJ Styles. The biggest star they could take from WWE right now that they're not doing anything with, and they're ruining every step of the way, and I know where you think I'm heading with this, but I'm not going to say him. I'm going to say Nakamura. They're not doing shit with Nakamura. And you think about this. If they put Nakamura on an ECW pay-per-view, or an ECW show, you're talking about a guy, and it's not going to be extreme, really, but I guarantee he could wrestle that way. But it's not going to be a rough thing that he's in there. ECW is not going to be a rough style anymore. It would be more of a wrestling program. It would be more like a Ring of Honor, kind of like an NXT, but it would be more like a hard rock, like heavy metal vibe to the show, I think, that he would do. And that's what I would kind of do it as. I would do it as like a hard rock, kind of heavy metal lifestyle kind of thing, that you tune in and you want the old ECW back, and they'd be playing like the current like Whitechapel metal music, and they'd be playing, I'm trying to think of some other bands, like Metallica. Well, they probably wouldn't play Metallica because they have to pay the rights. They wouldn't want to do that. They'd probably be like Whitechapel and bands like that, like Amir and popular bands like that. They'd get their rights to those songs, and they'd be playing them on there. Maybe a little bit of Iron Maiden or something, I have no idea. But you gotta think about the rights. They gotta pay for the music rights, so they probably would be like more like unknown bands, probably be before. But it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool. But the other people on SmackDown I would probably pick was Rusev would probably be one of those guys. I would pick and Aiden English. And then that leaves a lot of other people to come up from NXT and kind of fill those spots and have them get an opportunity. And then, like I said, this is what ECW could be. It could be the people that WWE can't figure out anything to do with. Good example is Ty Dillinger. He's been floundering for such a long time. Another good example is Dolph Ziggler. A guy who they think has something, but they can't figure out how to book him. And you can completely tell that by the way they book him on WTV. Because, 1 week, or he'll be in the program, and you're thinking, oh, this guy's going to the moon. And then, next year, complete opposite. This guy's wrestling like Barry Smith in a freaking opening match and losing to Barry Smith. It's the weirdest thing ever with Dolph Ziggler. It's hard to understand what the hell they're thinking. So let him go to ECW. Let him go somewhere else and wrestle. Get his fame back and then come back. I think Dolph has potential. He can do stuff. But yeah, there you go. It's not that hard to figure out how they could bring back ECW and how they would do it in a way that it would get over. But I think Nakamura holding the ECW World Heavyweight Championship would be great. Have him, beat everybody and win the championship. Don't make it easy, but, don't make it hard for him either. Because he should win easy, because he should have beat AJ Styles. But all this bull crap going on with the storylines and stuff is just so stupid how they booked that. But, it was just weird how they didn't want to put the belt on Nakamura. I'm like, really? Seriously? You should go with Nakamura. Have AJ chase the title, because I think that'd be more interesting than, having Rusev took on AJ, which was a okay match. And I don't know if I put Rusev in ECW, but I think Rusev would actually. This is what honestly what I would do. I would let Heyman take whoever he wants from SmackDown, because there's a lot of talent on SmackDown that he, you know. I honestly think Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens would be good in ECW. Um, Not even because they did the hardcore stuff and things. I just think that they could bring more to the product and they wouldn't be held back as much from doing what they, probably want to do. Put him on the ECW show. And I think that'd be interesting to see that. But here's the thing: if Heyman would say no, and ECW has this brand, this is waiting to be branded, that has money to be made because people still remember ECW to this day. I would pick somebody else that could probably book it. I mean, if I could think of somebody that WWE might bring back into the fold, maybe Taz, maybe Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer has a promotion. I don't know how much truth there is. I heard somewhere that maybe he got offered money to close, but I don't know why that would happen. I don't know what that didn't make any sense to me. Unless, like I said, WWE would want him to run something like an ECW and they'd pay him to close it to make it a WWE promotion and rebuild ECW. I don't know. But I mean, that's another. I would honestly choose Taz, though, over Tommy Dreamer, to be completely honest, because I think Taz would have more of a. I guess I could say Tommy Dreamer could help do the behind the scenes stuff and be on TV and wrestle and be a person who may be the the beginning, the start of the company, have him become the world champion to start out. But maybe have Taz behind actually and be like the on-screen character, owner or the CEO of ECW or whatever. And have Heyman come on just for a one-shot appearance and just to hand it off to Taz doing stuff, or some past, person like Joey Styles would be amazing if they got him to come back. But I don't think he would work for WWE again. I don't think he liked working for WWE as far as, I've heard stuff. I don't think that he liked working for WWE, to be completely honest. I don't think a lot of people do, but if they come ringing and pay the amount of money, they definitely will go. The money's right. But yeah, anyways, that's really all I gotta say about that. I thought it'd be an interesting topic to discuss. What do you guys think about that, though? If they brought ECW back, and like I said, they do it right, they put a lot of outcasts, and they may sign some people who Paul Heyman thinks that would be good for the company, but I think they would still kind of say, well, NXT is our training ground, and we still want you to run through that. We want them to get the proper training. That we don't want wrestlers coming in green that don't know what they're doing. So I think that they would still do that, but they would say, hey, but if somebody comes through that maybe we think that's not ready for WWE, or we think we're going to release him, maybe instead of releasing them, giving them an ECW contract would be the alternative. And maybe say, well, you know how to wrestle. We just don't know what we're going to do with your gimmick. Why don't we send you to ECW? You can do whatever you want there. You can train. You can learn from Heyman. You can learn from, whoever's there. There you go. And the thing is, people are going to be watching this because the fact is that Paul Heyman would be running it. But if it wasn't Paul Heyman, basically this would be the promotion where you just go and you wrestle. That's it. You go and you have wrestling matches. There wouldn't be that much more to it. Maybe random promos in the back wherever they're on tour doing their shot at. Or if they went and had an ECW arena, that would be cool. I think they need to do that. They need to have a promotion that just stays in one place so that a lot of people will come to it every single week, fill the shows, sell it out. Even if they don't, it doesn't matter. It'd be an arena show and it'd be filmed. I think it'd be cool because you wouldn't have to pay that much money and you can put them in an arena, build a high-tech facility for this place and have people come from all over the world. Maybe put it in the middle of the United States. Maybe, I don't know where you'd put it, Minnesota. Would that be like in the middle of somewhere? You have to pick somewhere that has like a fan obsession with wrestling too. New York's not in the middle of the U.S. Texas might be a good spot to pick somewhere to put a promotion and just have it sit there because that's in the middle of the U.S. and people could travel if they wanted to see that ECW promotion and actually come to the show. But that'd be kind of weird. I don't know if Heyman would want to live in Texas or somebody else would want to live in Texas to run a promotion for ECW. But like I said, something in the middle of the U.S. would be kind of cool. If they knew there was a good wrestling territory there, they can go there and set up shop ECW and have it be the center of the WWE and kind of start like a wrestling thing there. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Anyways, I get talking about, I get think about this in my head, and I want to talk about stuff. So I turn on the camera, and I'm like, oh, I might as well record it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know down below about your thoughts on ECW coming back, if they relaunched it, if they could do it like in a way where the matches were really good and would actually bring ECW back to, I guess, greatness. Because when they last had it, a little bit of a sour taste in our mouth, and it wasn't that great. I think the last world champion was Ezekiel Jackson, wasn't it? I hope to God he doesn't still have that championship. I don't think WWE does that, but like I know some WCW and ECW guys still have like the championships, I think. But eventually, I think they returned them. They gave them to WWE. I think. I could be wrong about that. I don't know how that works. Championships work, but I'm pretty sure WWE pretty much bought all the legendary championships that are out there for the most part, except for the NWA Championship, which somehow still is on the outskirts, even though WWE bought freaking WCW. Anyways, I don't understand that. I don't know why WWE hasn't came out and said, why don't we own that championship, you know? But anyways, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought about the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. I'll catch you guys later. Keep rocking and keep on watching wrestling. Later.